Many years ago, when I was a toddler, into my life came the Achar family, and they very quickly became my surrogate family. Thus, the children became my constant playmates, and the parents became my second parents. Every waking moment of my life was spent in their home. Their youngest son was a little younger than me, and you're probably wondering where all this is going, right? But there is a little bit of a story behind why I'm telling you all of this. Because the person that we are interviewing today is this very young gentleman, Narayan Achar. He's also called MP, or when he was a child, we used to call him Raju. Even back then, Raju was a perennial favorite among all the adults in our society because he was a very quiet, very curious child. He used to have a very different way of looking at the world around him. And I remember that he was always asking questions. He was very curious, like I said earlier, and he had a very different and unique way of perceiving the world around him. The Narayan or MP, as the person that I interact with today, still embodies a lot of those qualities. And I'm not surprised that he chose to undertake a journey that took him across 7 countries and across thousands of kilometers and took him a few weeks, all of them on a motorbike, to go from his hometown of Hyderabad in South India to his adopted hometown of Singapore. Let's welcome MP. And without taking too much of your time, I would ask him to talk to us a bit more about the journey that he has undertaken. MP, welcome. It's so good to have
Thank you.
you on this conversation here with me today. And I am so deeply honored and impressed that I'm your friend and that I've known you for such a long time. So tell us a bit more about your professional background, MP.
I lived in Mumbai for quite a few years, and I happened to buy my first house in Mumbai. And then, of course, things went well for me. I spent few years in Delhi and then came back to Mumbai, and then got this opportunity to move to Singapore. When I moved to Singapore, a couple of years down the line, I realized that Singapore is land connected to Malaysia, and Malaysia is connected to Thailand, and then to Myanmar and India. And I've always wanted to do long road trips. And that has always been at the back of my mind. And since those many years, maybe about more than 10 years, 12 years back, I've always been thinking about doing a road trip from Singapore to India. And that has been at the back of my mind. And at some point in time, decided that, okay, now is the time. If I have to do it, it's only now. And if I delay it, I can't. Somehow, I think things just fell in place, and then it happened. Right.
Right. Have you undertaken any other long road trips?
Not so long road trips, but in preparation for this trip, I did some trips. Like I did one trip from Hyderabad to Araku Valley in Vizag. And that's
Okay.
about 700 kilometers. But again, it was a small ghat section, nothing so difficult. But I
Right.
just wanted to try my own bike first of all, because when I bought this bike, I was just riding around in Hyderabad, some here and there, that's all, but never
Right.
did a long ride. So that was the only long ride. And
Right.
of course, couple of small rides, 250, 500 kilometers, but never a multi-day continuous back-to-back riding kind of a thing. Never done that.
Never done that.
Yeah.
So tell us about the bike that you rode.
This is a Honda NX 500. It's a 500 cc or 470 cc bike.
Okay.
It's a very proven engine, and
Okay.
I've done some rides on that bike, small rides between Singapore, Malaysia kind of places.
Okay.
So I
Okay.
like that engine, and I had the confidence that this bike will not give up on me. So that's the
You
reason I chose
trusted
that.
your bike.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That was my home for 2 months, right? And and that was my constant companion,
Yeah.
whoever was there or no, but the bike was there, and it had to take me to where I wanted to go.
Right. Right. And what was the route you undertook?
I started from Hyderabad, then went to Mumbai via Pune, and then from Mumbai I went to Prayagraj because I wanted to go to Prayagraj during the Mahakumbh, but I avoided that rush time.
Mm-hmm.
So from there, I had to go to Nepal border. So I went through Ayodhya, which
Mm-hmm.
was also the new temple that was built over there.
Mm-hmm.
From there, I crossed over into Nepal. And in Nepal, I went to Pokhara, from Pokhara to Ruswagadi. And from there, I crossed over into China, the Tibet part of China,
Mm-hmm.
and covered the entire Tibet, right? Starting from Kiryong to Everest Base Camp, and from there to the old Silk Route, which is, the old towns like Shangri-La. It's a beautiful place.
Mm.
Shangri-La, Lijiang, Shaxi, and from covering all of those places, then coming down all the way to Laos.
Wow.
Then entered Laos. From Laos, came in into Thailand.
Mm-hmm.
From Thailand, rode all the way up to Malaysia. That was a long, all the way from North Thailand to South Thailand. Entered Malaysia, and then from Malaysia to Singapore. So that
Awesome.
was the route I took. It's overall about 10,700 kilometers.
Oh wow. Oh my goodness me. And how many days did it take you?
I took precisely 54 days.
54 days. And I correct me if I'm wrong, but you wanted to be in Singapore in time for your son's graduation, isn't it?
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, that's the reason I like covered Thailand and Malaysia crazy like anything. I rode about 800 kilometers in a single day, all
Oh,
the way from
amazing.
North Thailand, that is Chiang Rai to Bangkok. That's 800 kilometers. I covered it in 14 hours, one single day, one stretch.
Oh, wow. How did you prepare for this? So I would like to kind of touch upon the preparation part from four different parts of it. One is the physical part of it. Then there is the mental part of it. There is the emotional part of it. And there's also the spiritual part of it. So I will
Right.
start with the physical because that's the easiest and the most visible. So how
Yeah.
do you prepare yourself physically for this?
Actually, I did not do any specific preparation from a physical perspective, but I've always been very regular in my daily walks.
Mhm.
Uh, I did at least about 5 kilometers walk every day,
Mhm.
and that has been my routine for many years now,
Mhm.
and that has taken care of my most of my basic health requirements. And of course, from a food perspective, I'm a vegetarian, so I've been more cautious about what I'm eating, and that's the only thing. And before leaving or before actually finalizing the dates that I wanted to kickstart this, I went in for a medical health check as well with my doctors to make sure that everything is okay. And I did not want to be foolish to just attempt it
Mhm.
without knowing my own health condition. Just like I had to check my motorcycle, every single part of it. Before that, I wanted to check my every single part, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So I did that, and the doctors gave me a clear this one. They said no problem at all, go ahead. But they did recommend some medication for altitude sickness. That's all. Apart from that, nothing else.
You're from the southern plateau, the Deccan Plateau from Hyderabad.
Yeah, yeah.
You've lived in Singapore, but I know for a fact that living in the high altitudes has not been something that you've done,
I have
right?
never done that one.
And so was that something that you were, kind of more worried about or anything like that?
Of course, that was my biggest worry.
Mm,
Attitude, whether I'll be able to, because I've heard so many stories about people going high up over there and not able to breathe properly, come back. In fact, when I was spending time acclimatizing in Nepal, there was a group of bikers who had come over there, about 20 bikers, right? They were going the same route. Of course, not all the way to Singapore. They were going only up to Lhasa, and then they were taking a flight back to India. So when I had seen that group of about 25, 30 bikers, and 3 days down the line, I checked in into the same lodge at Everest Base Camp where these bikers were there, and there were at least about 5, 6 bikes left over there, and all the other bikes were gone. So I
mm,
just checked with the guy who was taking care of them, the bikes. What happened to these people? They said all of them, they just could not breathe here only. Like the hotel at Everest Base Camp, from there to the actual Everest base camp is about 50 kilometers, and you have to take the electric bus only. And these people, these 5, 6 people, they just lost their, health condition at that point only,
mm,
and they had to be taken to hospital.
mm,
And even in Pokhara, even in Ruswagadi, where I was, acclimatizing, there were a couple of people who were returning back, and when I checked with them, they said one is they just could not take the physical stress of riding that bike on the off-road conditions because Bikes are heavy, and of course, they did not have luggage. I had luggage as well.
Mm,
The physical strength that it takes to ride the bike. So two, three of them, they had to go back from there only.
mm,
So altitude sickness was definitely high on my mind, whether I'll be able to adapt to that one.
mm,
Though I had got my medical check done, but I was still not sure. At the Everest base camp or afterwards doing the 108 bends, where on one side you have those 180-degree bends.
mm.
Second, it is taking is immediate altitude increase. Like from one turn to another turn, it's about 4-5 meters increment in the altitude.
Wow.
And then you have this risk of black ice on the road. So if you're not managing your speed and braking, and if you're suddenly braking, you may slip and fall. Linked to the weight of the bike were all of these elements as well. If I don't have adequate power, I'll definitely fall. If I fall on a turn, it's going to be disastrous,
Yes,
right?
yes.
So those were the concerns that I had, my health, of course, and the weight of the bike, and my own ability to really steer this bike on those turns and bends. That's where the mental preparation comes, right? And I was always sure that, look, I will not overdo things. Things fail when you try to overdo, right?
Right, right.
So you need to be very clear with your expectations. My expectation was very clear. I think one of the things that you also wanted to ask me was what was the reaction from the family and I know the friends and the
Yes.
dear ones, right? So everyone, they said, look, you can consider your health. If you're healthy and you feel you can do it, okay, do it. But I think everyone's concern was about my safety. If I'm foolish and I'm not safe, then definitely things will go wrong.
Hmm.
I'll be crazy. I will try and accomplish this, but I will not be foolish.
I like how you've differentiated the words foolishness and craziness. So in your
Absolutely.
mind, what would
Yeah.
have been foolish?
Foolish would have been to try and maybe override in a single day,
Mm. So did you
even if you're
tell
unable to
yourself
do it.
that, say, for example, in the hill region, this is how much I'll do in every day. So did you have a specific goal in your mind for each of those days?
Yeah, absolutely.
Mhm.
Just to give a background, in China, you can't ride by yourself. You need to go through a tour agency.
Oh, I see.
That's
Okay.
compulsory. And of course, even if you go by yourself, you will never be able to navigate those roads because you'll not be able to read the maps. Everything is in Chinese.
Chinese, yeah. Plus the
So,
technology there is different, isn't it? So for example, I
yeah,
don't
yeah.
think Google Maps would work in
Google
China.
Maps doesn't work. Yeah, you have to use the local A maps, but those maps are superb actually.
Really?
So the
Okay.
tour guide would give us the waypoints every day.
Mm-hmm.
And he would say that, look, these are the routes that you need to take, and you reach at this point. I would see bikers, zoop, 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 going past me. But I would not get tempted. I said, okay, I'll maintain my speed, whatever is 90, 100 kind of a thing, whatever speed I'm able to manage. So that's the, thing which I did not be foolish of doing that. Okay, get into a race. Okay, there are five bikers going in front of me and they're just zipping past me. Let me also do that.
That's again, I think I quite liked what you just said. So in summary, what MP was saying was that foolishness would have been overdoing it.
Yeah.
Foolishness would have been competing with somebody else. Oh, they are going so fast. I can, probably go faster than them. So foolishness would have been giving into the ego to prove a point which is completely not relevant to somebody who's not relevant in the larger scheme of things. So, not taking your eyes off the main goal, which is I need to be in Singapore by a certain deadline and I need to get there safe and sound and I need to get there in one piece. And my bike is in one piece as well. So that was primary. So foolishness would have been compromising on that goal, compromising on the physical safety of yourself or your bike.
Around the Everest base camp, the first 2 or 3 nights I could not sleep.
Hmm.
Then when I was
Because of
talking
the
to,
altitude.
yeah, so when I was talking to some people in the group, they said, yeah, it's common because at high altitude sometimes you don't, you're unable to sleep. So why don't you join us for a beer party in the evening that will take care of your sleep? But I resisted that one because I knew that I had to be hale and healthy all the way going up to Singapore.
And so again, that then calls for a lot of discipline,
Yeah, yeah,
right? And that's where your mental preparation comes in as well. So
absolutely.
how did you prepare yourself mentally for this?
One is, the walking is a very good thing. While walking, you are in your own world,
Mm,
right? You
mm,
can bring in all your thoughts together and you can think so much
mm,
and you can also prepare so much, correct? So that's one way where I used to really mentally, I would picturize myself, though
Mm,
I really did not know how those roads would be.
mm,
But I knew that there is a certain altitude I need to go to. And
mm,
if I have to go to that altitude, what would be the right thing to do? And but more importantly, from a health perspective, I was very clear that
mm.
I'll not overdo certain things. I'll
Yeah.
not overeat, right? I'll not try something which I've never tried, right? I'll depend on proven food. And that's what I did. And I think that really helped.
It's just kind of taking a bit of a step back again into the preparation piece. Food, because you just talked about food and that triggered this thought.
Yeah.
Knowing that in most of these countries that you were driving through, food would have been a problem, right? Given that you're a
Right.
vegetarian, and how again, what was your preparation for that?
I've never been messy about food, so
Mm.
I've adjusted to whatever food is available. For me, taste was the secondary thing. So primary thing was okay, I should be healthy and I should be able to get something to eat. But the most common thing that you can get is only just the white rice with some cabbage on it. That's it. Traditional vegetarian fried rice.
Yeah.
But what I used to do is every town where I go to, I used to first find a convenience store,
Mm.
find two, three, breads. You have those red bean
Yeah,
paste
yeah, yeah,
breads,
yeah.
right? Those are very good. Or the lotus paste bread.
Yes.
These are the common things which are available everywhere. So I'd go find a convenience store, pick up a couple of them, get some juices.
Yeah.
Milk is available.
Mm.
So yogurt, bread,
Yeah.
fruits. Banana used to be, though I'm diabetic, but because I was doing so much of riding back to
Yeah.
back,
Yeah.
so it was okay for me to have one or two bananas in
Bananas.
a
Yeah.
day,
Yeah.
and those used to sustain.
Do you meditate or anything like that?
No, my meditation is riding my bike.
Riding your bike.
When
That's two in one there for you.
Yeah, whether it's walking or cycling or biking,
Mm.
right? These are the three things you are actually meditating when you're doing that. Sometimes, it so happens that you're thinking something and you actually see that in front of you.
You've literally manifested it in front of you. That's amazing.
I'll tell you, when I was riding I told, from Chiang Rai to Bangkok, one single day I did the entire route. Though I was planning to stop over somewhere in between, but the road was very good
Mm,
and there was hardly any traffic. So I was just riding. So I thought, okay, let me continue. It started raining
mm.
and it was, the sunset was just about to happen. I was just thinking, maybe I should find a rainbow over here somewhere. And in about maybe next 50, 60 kilometers, I actually spotted the rainbow.
Oh,
I actually stopped
wow.
over there and, took a picture. Of course, the phone camera was not able to
Not-
capture that because it was a very, very slight rainbow kind of a thing, right? So it happens.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
That was going to be my next question, actually. See, you kind of manifested that question for me as well. I know you're an avid photographer and you love both videographing as well as photographing. So, did that passion ever overcome you and say, okay, fine, I'm going to stop now because I have to take photos now. I'm not going to keep writing. Did that ever happen, or were you able to overcome that?
No, I've overcome that. The first thing I did was I did not take my DSLR
Okay.
because that was going to add to my weight by at least about 3.5, 4 kgs. My priority was I had to carry summer clothes, I had to carry winter clothes, I had to carry rain protection clothes. So these themselves were quite a lot to carry. Then my riding gear, everything else. Then I had to carry some spares, tools. Overall, my luggage was about 35 kgs.
Driving on the left side in India versus the right side in China, that would have taken a bit of getting used to as well, if I'm not mistaken.
When you are switching the lanes, right? Sometimes, your intuition says, okay, just move to the left.
Yeah, that is the muscle memory, right?
Yeah, muscle memory. So then
Yeah.
the oncoming traffic is there. So
Mm.
I initially one or two times it happened to me, but then I was like glued in. I said, okay, no, this is all right. In fact, the border between Laos and Thailand, the road is because they have to switch over from right to left, right? So the road is crazy. It goes like this, like in the shape of a infinity shape, because they have to naturally move the traffic to the left lane from
Left,
right
right.
lane.
Yeah, yeah,
If you
yeah.
just put the markings, I'm sure people would have made a mess out of it. So they planned it intelligently, but it
Oh,
was like crazy. You have to go like this, and finally
oh my
join.
goodness me, that is hilarious. Coming down then into your emotional and your spiritual energies, how did you use those to stay resilient during these difficult times?
I did not have a Real difficult time. This was something I wanted to do for so many years,
Mm,
and finally I am attempting to do it. My whole focus was that I have to be successful in this attempt. In terms of my spiritual, I was so lucky. Went to Everest Base Camp, it was bright and sunny. Went through the 108 bends, it was not so rainy, and
mm.
it was not so really cold that you would have the black ice on the road. The Sejila Pass, which many said you will have a lot of black ice over there, be very careful about it. It was cloudy, it was drizzling, but there was no black ice. I was planning to exit Thailand in about 10 days, but I finished that in 4 days.
Oh, wow. So you
Thing,
actually,
but the
wow.
good thing was the moment I reached Singapore, 2 days after that, the entire area was flooding in Thailand.
Oh,
The same roads that I came through, those roads were flooded.
oh my
So
goodness.
some third force was working, which told me that,
Mm,
look, reach there as soon as possible and then just finish
right.
this part of it. I strongly believe that there was some third force that made me do all these things in this
Mm,
particular time,
mm.
and I'm really grateful for that.
At some point, we do go through a bit of a low because something happens. And then at that point, you start to maybe feel a bit discouraged, or you start to feel a bit frustrated, or, you start to lose confidence in your own abilities. Did that ever happen on this journey for you?
Yes, of course, there were times, and when your bike dropped, I was unable to pick it up because I had my 35 kgs luggage on the bike. The bike itself is 190 kgs, then overall about 230 kgs. I'm like 68, 69, so it's nearly three times my own weight.
Yeah.
How do I pull it back? I had to remove my as bike was lying side on the on its side. I had to remove all my luggage, lighten it, and then push it back. So those are some of the times I would think, will I really be able to do this one?
So, what have you learned about yourself as a person from this journey?
One is definitely I learned that I have been underestimating my own capabilities and my own skill set.
Mm,
That was one thing I've really learned about.
mm,
Second is, I think if I plan things out well, most of the times when I've planned things in the right way, I think they have worked out for me. That's the next thing that I've learned.
mm,
I'm very good at doing things when I have things under my control. The other thing that I've learned is my own patience level. So I started thinking that, look, yes, this is one skill that I need to really maybe keep brushing up again,
mm.
where I have to really have a lot of room for my patience. And
Yeah.
I've realized that I have that capability.
Mm,
It was just that maybe I was unable to put it into use, or things where the environment was not in a way where I could really do that one.
yeah.
But if I want to do it, I think I can do it. And that is where I think that was my another learning for myself.
Awesome. I really, really enjoyed this. And as a final question, is there anything that you would like to offer as advice to anybody who wants to undertake a similar journey in future?
Of course, be crazy, but not foolish, and plan very well, and have your patience in your planning.
It's so much more compelling because it goes from where you began your life's journey, Hyderabad,
Yeah, yeah, correct.
and
Yeah,
then you've kind of gone over to Singapore where you spent a good chunk of your adult life. And now
yeah,
actually you're flying back to Hyderabad. So, it's like you kind of
yeah.
mirroring that journey that you've
Yeah, yeah,
taken.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. For these kind of things, if you plan, it's not necessary that, okay, you have decided to kickstart on a certain day, you have to compulsorily do it, come what may. You have to be a little bit flexible, be
Mm,
very clear where you want to go, and on the way, adapt, and tweak your plans and tweak your goals also if needed. If you look at my whole goal was to come on on a motorcycle to Singapore,
mm,
right?
mm.
So if I had thought about that too much, then I would have never been able to accomplish it.
Another big learning there, ladies and gentlemen, when you know what you want to achieve, problems don't become roadblocks,
Yeah.
right? They become something that can be worked on, that can be solved. So problems become solvable when we know where we want to go. So some of the main messages that I've picked out from this entire conversation is it's important to have clarity of what we want to achieve by when we want to achieve it. And having that clarity, staying flexible and adaptable to the journey to get to that particular thing, keeping patience, not getting hung up about, oh, I have to do this today, I have to do this tomorrow, but being flexible enough to say, so long as I'm getting to that place by whenever I had planned it. That's what is important, not taking your eyes off that particular ball. And then looking at issues as solvable. So going with a solution mindset rather than a problem mindset. Because when we look at something as a problem, it becomes big, it becomes unsurmountable. But when you look at it as a solution focused, then a solution will come into place, will fall into place.
That's right.
Finally, to keep your energy up, to keep your motivation up, focus on things that you really enjoy doing. MP loves walking. He continued doing it. MP again kept that passion of his was, this is something on my mind for the last 10 years. I want to get to it. And he applied all of his strengths to get to it. His natural curiosity, his natural, questioning ability, his natural focus on planning. Plus, I think as a photographer, he's got a really visual way of looking at the world. So I'm sure he was able to make a visual picture of him achieving his goal, and that definitely helped him achieve it. Thank you so much. This has been absolutely amazing. And thank you for sharing all of these stories with us and for spending your time with us. Really, really appreciate it. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you so much, Asha. Even I realized a lot while talking to you. I think it was a good discussion. And yeah, overall, I think this is going to be a good learning for me. And
Thank
hopefully, a
you.
lot more things can happen better.
Absolutely. Wishing you more such massive long journeys. And I wish that some of those journeys will bring you to Hong Kong.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Good
Okay.
luck.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.
Bye.